another month and another book haul! I want to start by giving a shout out to my new top tier Wizard Master patron, Twainy. Thank you so much. Hey everyone, welcome back to Andrew's Wizard of the Reads. And as always, guys, I'm Andrew. And today, I've got another book haul for you. But before we get to that book haul, make sure you're liking and subscribing, hitting that bell notification so you can get regular updates for when I put out new content. Also, make sure you're checking that description box down below for the link to the Wizardly Duo Discord, as well as links to all my social media and information about my Patreon. And that said, guys, this is a rather large book haul. But I think it's going to be one of my last kind of giant book hauls for a while. I'm not saying the book hauls are going to stop because, I mean, obviously I've tried that and it doesn't work. But yes, I have welcomed a new child into our family, so I kind of don't have as much money available for books anymore, but that's not a bad thing. I've still got plenty to read, and of course I'm going to continue to buy books, just maybe not at, 30, 40 a month. That said, let's start with the digital purchases, because yes, they count. And we're going to start with The Obsidian Awakening by Sienna Frost. This is an ebook that I picked up for free. I've heard some buzz about it. Apparently the physical book is absolutely stunning, and if the cover's anything to go by, I can see. I've seen pictures on Twitter and stuff like that. It's a gorgeous book. Next up is Memories of Blood and Shadow by Aaron S. Jones. I've heard nothing but good things about this particular book. It just recently came out. I picked it up on ebook. I heard about this one from Kay's Hidden Shelf. And so she ranted and raved about it. And so I just had to make sure that I had a copy of this to read digitally so that I could see what all the fuss was about. I then picked up The Swordsman's Lament by G.M. White. This is the Royal Champions Book 1. I got this one digitally as well. The cover just looked really intriguing to me, so I just went ahead and snagged it. I then also picked up Changeless. I swear I don't have a lisp. This is book 2 in The Parasol and the Protectorate by Gail Carriger. I heard about the Parasol Protectorate from both Sarah from Brighton Bookish and Sarah from Sarah Reads. They both really enjoy this series. And I really liked the first book and how it was kind of like Victorian, just kind of high society with a supernatural twist. And it's kind of got a little bit of an urban fantasy romance. Or maybe Gaslamp, is that what that's called? I don't know. I enjoyed it. It's got a little bit of humor. So I look forward to continuing that one as well. I picked that one up on the Audible sale for $4. So I figured, why not? It's time I continued that. That's the end of my kind of ebooks or audiobooks that I've picked up. But I do have 2 purchases that just aren't here yet. And it's been 2 weeks and I don't know where they're at. But that's Sword in the Storm by David Gemmell. This is, I believe, that's the first Regante book. And then I've also got Midnight Falcon, which is another one of the Regante books. I've got both of these in hardcover. They'll arrive when they arrive. And then other ones that I don't yet have, but that I have been told are on the way. I am receiving from the author Stephen Aaron books 2 and 3 of the Age of Darkness series because I loved The Coward so much. And I'm going to be picking up book 1 here. That should be in next month's book haul. But that's Blood Mage and Chaos Mage. And then the first book is Battle Mage. But again, I'm getting that one next month. Now, let's talk about the books that I do have. And those are a lot of books. Speaking of authors sending me stuff. Ooh, you are rocking, and I don't like that. I got from T.A. Bruno books 1 and 2 in, I believe this is the Chimeria, or the Thrilling sequel. I think this is the Chimeria cycle or something like that. Anyway, he sent me this personalized and signed edition of In the Orbit of Sirens and The Winds of Quasars. He also sent some signed bookmarks, and that was very, very kind of him. I am actually starting these ones pretty much immediately. I might have even read them by the time this video comes out. At least The Orbit of Sirens will have probably been read by the time this comes out. I've heard these have strong Mass Effect vibes, and I'm here for it. So yes, these 2 are gorgeous. Very nice self-pub too, by the way. I love that kind of nice feel that a lot of the self-pub has on the covers. I don't know why I'm just going to sit here and rub the cover, but it feels so nice in the hand. So thank you for those. All right, I then also received from the author Army of the Cursed by Kareem Solomon. This is War of the Last Day, #1. I love this cover. I especially like this little dude over here. Like, he's just a nice contrast to this bright orange, and then you just got that pop of blue. And of course, you know, the hero doesn't look away from the explosion or the giant ball of fire, and that's exactly what we've kind of got going on here. I'm excited. I'm also reading this one pretty much probably by the time you've seen this. So yes, I'm super excited to get to this one as well. Thank you, Kareem. All right, and then I picked up as replacement copies. Well, one of these is a replacement copy, and then one is a new copy. I replaced Night of the Demon Queen. This is the third book in the Barbara Hambly Winter Night Quartet, I believe is what it is. And these are very handsome kind of trade paperbacks. I had mass market paperback editions of these that I gave to Nico when he was visiting because I knew I wanted these. And then a new one is I picked up the fourth and final book, which is Dragonstar. I know Brandon Sanderson really enjoys these books. And yeah, I'm super excited to add these to the collection because I've got the Grim edition of the first book. And then I've got the trade paperbacks of 2 through 4. And then Echoes of Empire. I'm just combining series names at this point. But I picked up The Pillars of Sands by Mark T. Barnes. I don't remember which one this is. This might be like the final book. I think this is the final book to that trilogy. I love these covers. It is just absolutely gorgeous. When I talked about these, when I hauled them, a bunch of people said, yeah, I've read those, and they're really, really good. So I'm excited to get to these. All right. I then picked up the final, I believe this is the final Witches book in the Discworld collection. This is Carpe Juglium. Juglium. I am kind of taking a small break from the Witches books right now, mainly because Witches Abroad didn't sit well with me, but it is a series that I am mostly enjoying, and I do want to complete, so I now have this in the collection, which means this wraps up my collecting of the Witches sub-series. I got from my in-laws gave me A Darkness of Light and Shadow by Ryan Cahill. This is book 2 in the Bound and the Broken, and this thing is thick. This thing is a beefy, and I am here for it. This is gorgeous. I believe he's like 50% of the way through book 3, and I think he says it's going to be like as big as this. Look at this thing. Like, oh, Jesus, it's a beefy boy. I like it. I'm here for it. Yes. Okay. And I've mostly enjoyed that series. Picking up some sci-fi from one of my favorite authors, we've got Shards of Earth by Adrian Tchaikovsky in paperback. I don't own any of Adrian Tchaikovsky's books in hardcover, and I was gonna get this in hardcover, and I was like, why break the routine? And I'll just hold out for it. The paperback. I've got the audiobook of this because it's narrated by Sophie Aldred, but I wanted a physical copy too, so I can hybrid read this. And yes, I'm super excited to get to this because I've heard some pretty good things about it. I've then got a stack of very heavy Stephen King books. And yesterday I was at Half Price Books, and I found this copy of The Outsider by Stephen King. And I messaged I was between this and The Institute, and I messaged my buddy Jake, the Bookist Drummer. I'm like, hey, Institute or Outsider? He's like, Outsider, 100%. And then after I've checked out, he's like, but it kind of spoils Mr. Mercedes. And I was just like, oh, well, now you tell me. So I went and ended up going with The Outsider. No regrets. It's a very intimidating, very kind of creepy cover from Stephen King. And then, of course, this one is Mike from Mike's Book Reviews fault. He decided to put out this thing about Insomnia being a great companion piece to The Dark Tower. So I ran out and found this gorgeous, pretty much mint copy of Insomnia. It's another thick book, but I am planning to read this in the next 3 to 4 months as I kind of wrap up The Dark Tower. I want to kind of make sure to fit in Insomnia. And then I also snagged a copy of The Stand, again for Dark Tower reasons. This is kind of an aftermarket signed dust check from the artist of Glenn Chadbourne. This is numbered 182 of 500, and it just kind of goes on that uncut edition. Very, 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 very gorgeous. Again, I am reading The Stand this month. I'm super excited for that. All right, we've still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 books to talk about. So, my buddy Words in Time, Jonathan, loves Hyperion, and he tried very hard to get me to read Hyperion. And so I was in Half Price Books, and even though it's got a cracked spine, I found this decent copy of The Fall of Hyperion. Since I had the first book, I decided to go ahead and pick this up. He said that, it is kind of one of those ones that you got to read the first and the second book to get the full effect. So I wanted to have this on hand for when I do read Hyperion, Jonathan. I've now got The Fall of Hyperion to go along with it. So that's the only mass market paperback appearing in this haul. Now, I received a wonderful, amazing birthday gift from one of my patrons, Ryan. He sent me To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini. This is the Goldsboro edition. It's got this nice kind of in cover. It's got a beautiful sewn-in ribbon, and it is signed by the author, and it is numbered number 393 of 750. I've heard mixed things about To Sleep in the Sea of Stars, but I've also heard good and interesting ideas. So I am very excited to get into this one. So thank you, Ryan, for the wonderful gift. And then this one is entirely Alan's fault, because Alan is the long-priced prophet. In fact, I'll just say he's the Daniel Abraham prophet. I went ahead and picked up Age of Ash by Daniel Abraham. I was unwilling to shell out the $70 that eBay was asking for the Goldsboro edition, or I think there's another version. Yeah, I think it's the Goldsboro edition. But I did shell out $30 to get a signed copy of it instead. So I love Daniel Abraham, and I'm excited to have this now in my collection. I don't know when I'm going to get to it, because I want to read Dagger and Coin first, but, it is what it is. And then, of course, if you've seen him around, you know it's coming. I got The Blade Itself, the Broken Binding subscription edition with the nice sprayed edges, signed by Joe Abercrombie. Very, very wonderful. I really, really enjoy this one. I do have a gripe. I wish it had a more decent spine. I don't think this is Broken Binding's fault. I think this is Golden A's cheaping out a little bit on the printings of these. So these are, they'll last, but at the same time, they could have been a little bit better quality printing for something that was so highly anticipated. Just putting in the proper spine wouldn't have been too much to ask for, since we're already charging for a premium edition. So I do love this, though. It's got a gorgeous naked hardcover and everything like that. It's got, saying one thing about Logan Nine Fingers right there on the spine, which I do enjoy. And of course, I've covered it in a Mylar wrapping, because, when you've got nice, rare, expensive books, you want to make sure that they are protected. And then adding in, last month I was able to find good copies of Hard Magic and, Spellbound? Spellbound is the second book of the Grim Noir Chronicles by Larry Correia. I went ahead and picked up the third book, Warbound, to add to the collection, because this is one of my favorite steampunk, alternative history, urban fantasy kind of stories. I love that series. And then I placed a book outlet order because I'm nuts. And I got Fury of a Demon by Brian Naslund. This is the only one I didn't have in this trilogy. I've heard good things. Again, it continues the tradition of very, very bad US covers. This just isn't good. Compared to, look at that. This is the UK cover. This is the American cover. Which would you prefer? Honestly, this is terrible, guys. But it is what it is. I've heard good things. So hopefully it is, in fact, good. And then I am very mixed here, because I got Peter Newman's The Boundless. This is the last book in this kind of trilogy. And I got this off of Book Outlet. And I thought I had done everything correctly, but it doesn't match the rest of the series. And I am sad about this fact. And the bad thing is I like the bigger size. So what do? Do I just unhaul this and then try and find the correct size? Because the other two are this size. But I like this size. So then do I get rid of the other two and get them in this size? And is it worth the hassle? Do I bother with it? I don't know. I still haven't decided. But yes, The Boundless by Peter Newman. I picked this up because author of Gemmell Award winner The Vagrant. Gemmell's one of my new favorite authors, along with Stephen Aryan. And so if it says Gemmell Award winner, I will probably pick it up. So there is that one. And then these two gifts were from my wonderful patron, Jennifer. She got me the final book in the Obsidian Heart trilogy, The Race of War by Mark Morris. Again, I don't hear anybody talking about this one, but I am hopeful because it's kind of got that like urban fantasy horror vibe going with it. And she also sent me Ellie Monstad's The Magic of Recluse. I have been hearing about Recluse since I discovered BookTube, and I know it's like a 20-book series, but she says that if her name ever comes up in the Patreon wheel again, this is the one she wants me to read. So I hear you, Jennifer, and I have got that slotted. If your name comes up again, we'll get it done. We will get it done. All right, we've got 4 more here. I want a giveaway for Jeremy Saul's Stormblood. This one, it came from Book Depository for the giveaway. I'm super excited about it. I know this is kind of like sci-fi, some sort of like futuristic DNA with alien races. The cover is blue and black, which is always a plus for me. My buddy Patrick loves this series, so I am excited to get into this one. All right. And then, of course, you didn't think I wasn't going to talk about The Hunger of the Gods by John Gwynne. Like, of course I was going to talk about Hunger of the Gods by John Gwynne. I love John Gwynne. However, this is Bloodsworn Book 2. I haven't read Bloodsworn Book 1. I'm kind of waiting until, like, I'll probably wait a few months, I think, before I start Bloodsworn. Just because I know there's going to be a slight delay between Book 3. And I'm a bit of a wuss. And I know from reading Faithful and the Fallen that he does cliffhanger endings that make me want to scream, why? And so I'm kind of scared to jump into this series. All right, so we've got 2 more books. And speaking of those Brigantes, I've got Storm Rider in hardcover by David Gemmell. David Gemmell is, again, one of my, favorite authors at this point. I am loving everything that I've read from him so far, so I'm slowly making my way through his backlog. Now, this one is, again, more David Gemmell. This is Ravenheart by David Gemmell. And I got this one off of eBay for like $15. And I didn't think anything of it. It showed up. It was damaged. It was like bent. I'm currently working on straightening that up. I'm kind of, I've made some progress. It was way worse than this. And so I was getting ready to send it back. And then I flipped it open. And I realized it's signed. Guys, if you know anything about David Gemmell, he passed years ago. And his books are now signed books are going for a premium, so there's no way I'm going to return this. So I've actually purchased a second copy of this one as a reader copy, as well as a donor for the dust jacket, because this dust jacket, even though it's wrapped in Mylar, like Mylar hides a multitude of sins, but this thing is absolutely roached. So I have bought a second edition to read from because, frankly, to get another copy of this is like $150, and I just lucked into a signed copy. So, guys, that is everything that I have hauled this month. Please let me know. Do you think it's too much? Are you excited for smaller hauls in the future? Do you think I'm going to be able to do smaller hauls in the future? Please let me know in the comments down below. And as always, guys, till next time, peace out, stay magical, bye. And as always, I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons.